Okay, so here you can see a drawing. In this drawing we have several colors, a table here, and some reference lines with some balloons here. You have to explode the array before you can trim. Okay, explode the array command before you trim the object. Like we have an object and you want to array the object. So you can see you cannot just apply the trim command like that. You have to just select and explode X enter. So now you can select it individually. So just select the trim command. Now you can explode it before applying the trim. Okay. So you can see we have some balloons here. We have some colors here. We have some references here, and we have some tables. Okay. So how we can apply these things on a drawing? So first we are going to start with the text. How can we write the text? Like we have text here. After that we are going to cover the dimensions, the type of dimensions we have here, and some types we will cover from here. After that we will cover the leaders, and we have some other leaders in the library. And after that we have the table, how to create a table here or how to insert an Excel file in the AutoCAD. And after that we are going to cover the layers. So we are going to start with a new blank file. So first we have a blank sheet. So I'm going to directly create some text. So we have two types for text command. First is multi-line, second is single line. So we're going to create with a single line. So as the name suggests, it will be a single line. Okay, so select the single line text and you have to specify the start point from where you want to create the text. I want this point. After that it will ask for height. You can simply just click for the height or you can define the height from command line. Next you have to specify the rotation angle. If you want the text to be at an angle, you can specify the value. I am not specifying, so just press enter, 0 will be selected. Now you can see there is a cursor here, blinking cursor. You can just type anything. So I'm going to type like that. Okay. So if you press enter, you can see it will go to the next line, and here you can type something like that. Press enter, type something like that. Okay. So how can you complete the command? How can you come out of the command? Just click anywhere outside. You can see there is another cursor and just press the escape button. If you press the escape here, the command will quit and this will not be created. Okay. So now if I select the object, select the text, you can see all the texts are individual. Okay. I have pressed the enter button for the next line of the paragraph, but it will create a single line because it is a single line text. So it will always create a new line for the text or a new object or a new shape, and you can use the text individually. And if you want to change the text, you can just double click and change or type something else. Just click outside again and the text will be completed, but you will not be able to change its font, change its height from here. Okay. So how can you change the text, the font, the size? So for that we have to use the multi-line text. Okay, the shortcut will be T enter. Okay. So from T enter it will be a multi-line text and you have to specify the first corner. Basically you have to specify a rectangular shape. I'm going to specify this box. After that you can type anything you want. If you press enter, okay, and you can just type something like that. Complete, you can just click outside and you can also select the text from here and apply the properties of here. So you can see we are currently in the text editor, and first we have some styles. If you want to set the style, set the value one time, and you want that value to be applied every time, so you have to just select the style from here. Next we have the height or size of the text. You can select and change the size of this object, like I want it to be 2.5, or you can just select an individual object and change the size of that object also, or that text also. You can apply bold, italic, underline, overline, like these things. And after that we have some fonts. You can change the font from here. After that we have some layering option or the color option. You can change the color of the text from here. If you want to clear all the formatting, remove the format, everything will be removed. So you can just create that again. Okay. So next we have justification. We want it on the currently it is on top left, so you can see that it will start from the top and at the left side. You can also change it from here. You can see it is in the middle right now. Justification can be changed from here or here. Next we have bullets and numbering. It will work as you work in the word command. Same options are there. Line spacing, and you want to insert a symbol like that. So to complete, just click outside. You can see there is a text, and if you select, all the text will be selected, and you can move it from here, from this grid. If you want to edit, just double click, and now again there will be the text editor, and you can just change everything from here again. Okay, so this is the text command. Now you can see that we have some standards here. So how to change the standard size, how to create a new standard. For that you have to go to the text style. Okay, for that you have to type st, text edit. For that you have to type st command. Okay, so we have the text style here. You can see we have two standards. You can create a new standard from here, or you can edit the standard by selecting. Then you have to select the font style, annotative, or height. Okay, you can specify a standard height. Every time you create a text, that height will be applied. So if I want a 3 height, width factor, the gap between these two texts, if I increase the width factor, you can see the size will be increased. I want it to be 1. Oblique angle means the text on angle. I want the angle to be 30 degree. You can see the angle of the text will be 30 degree. Angle of the text will be 30 degree. So effects, upside, downside, backward, forward. Okay, these effects can be added. So if I select apply and set current and close, now you can see the text is changed, and if I create a new text, you can see all the properties are applied here. We have the height 3, we have angle defined here. If you type anything, you can see there is the angle, there is the font, everything will be applied like that. So this is the text command, and this way you can type the text. By double clicking on it, you can edit the text like that. Okay. Next we have dimensions. How can we apply the dimensions? You know the basic dimensioning types. We have a linear type, a line type, angular, arc length, radius, and diameter. All the types are clear to you. I think we have used all the types till now. So I'm going to create a drawing, like I have given you the drawing in the last assignment. So we'll create a circle of radius 1, okay, and a circle of radius 0.5, and object copied at a distance of 7, and both the objects copied at a distance of 4.2, and both the objects are inside 1 mm, and both the lines tangent like that, and we have a circle right here with a radius 1.2 like that. Okay, or we can just wait and select circle to tangent at a radius circle CTR like that, and a radius of 1.2. So like that. Just trim out like that. Create a circle again TTR. We have the circles here, and we have the circles here. So trim offset of 1 like that, and some mirrors like that. So trim. So this was our shape. So now we are going to apply some dimensions. So first dimension we have is the linear. So you can just specify 2 points like that and specify the distance like that. So you can see that the dimension type is changed now. So I'm going to change the textile and define it to 2. Okay, I'm going to define the default values. So size need to be changed. So I'm going to select the standard type and going to create a new dimension. So in this case the dimension is low, so going to modify width, increase the value to 3. Okay, set current close. So you can see that we have some font style applied. So first option, linear type. So what is the linear type dimension? We just have to select the 2 points. Now you can see there is the vertical dimension, and if we go to the downwards or upwards, we have the horizontal dimension. So whatever you need, you just have to specify that dimension like that. Okay. Next, we have the dimension type that is align. If you want to check the aligned dimension, the exact gap between these 2 points, you can check that align dimension also. You can see there is the difference 4.3 and 4.2. So there is some difference because this difference is from the front side. It is the projection distance, and it is the exact distance of the two distance of these 2 points. So in this way you can use the aligned and the linear dimension. Okay, again linear dimension, sorry, aligned dimension, select the 2 points, you can define like that. You can always use the aligned dimension to define a linear value that will be accurate. Okay, so next we have the dimension type to be angular. If you want to specify the angle between two lines, you can just select the two lines. The line should be at an angle not parallel to each other. If we have a rectangular shape and we select the dimension, you can see that there should be no angle here because it will give us some errors. Lines are parallel. Okay, we need to create two lines at an angle so that there can be some dimension like this. So you can generate the angle. Okay, two angular lines, it can be perpendicular. You can create the angle between these two lines, and you can see that the angle can be generated here, 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 or here. Any quadrant you can generate the angles, or in this case you select these two, angle can be this, can be this, can be this one, or can be this. So four angles can be generated. You can just go to the direction you need and click OK. After that we have arc length symbol. So we can check the arc length of our arc Okay, if you see, the radius of this arc is 8, but if you want to check the arc length, you can go here, arc length, and select the arc, and you can check the arc length like that. So what do you mean by arc length? It means if you straight this line, if you create a straight line like that of this arc, the distance will be 8.3776. Okay, so there is a symbol in front of this, that is the arc length symbol. Okay, so its length, so its location will be specified from here, de-enter dimension style manager. I will cover that after these commands. So after that we have a diameter type dimension. If you want to create a radius type or diameter type, you can just select it from here, and that type of dimension will be created like that. Next we have a dimension that is ordinate and jogged. So ordinate type dimension will work like, in the second I will show you first in the drawing. Okay, so in this drawing you can see we have some dimensions. You can see we have a 0 here, a 0 here. So all the vertical lines dimensions will be the dimension of x direction, all the horizontal line dimensions will be the dimension of y axis. Okay, so you can see this is 0, so this is 0 in x, 20 in x, 60 in x. So you can see that this gap is being defined from these values. So 0 to 20 here, 0 to 60 from here, 0 to 120. So in this way, this dimension can be defined. So again, 0 to 20, 0 to 60, 0 to 90. So all the dimension will be calculated from this 0. So to create these type of dimensions, we need to create a sketch on the origin. Okay, so suppose I'm going to create a drawing like this one from the enter to 20 by 220 box. I'm going to create this one. So if you go to the ordinate type dimension and if you choose the point, you can see this point is at 398, but we need this to be at 0. So you can just go to the coordinate system and select that, and you can just click here and it is movable now, and you can define this coordinate at here. Now if you check the ordinate type dimension, so it will again show you this value. So now you have to just delete and create a rectangular shape from 0, 0 to dimension or coordinate to 20, comma. Okay, sorry, I have just created a single side. So rectangle from 0, 0 to 220, 220. So this will be the rectangular shape. So we're going to create an ordinate type. Okay, this is not going to create that. Okay, I'm going to select a new file first. So rectangular shape 0, 0 and 220, 220. So now it will give us the exact value. Here it is 0, here it is 220, here it is also 220, like that. If you press the ortho mode on, you can see the line will be straight like that. You don't get this angle. Okay, so like this way you can just create this type of dimension. If you have any object in between, you can just create that object and define the value from ordinate type. Okay, so next we have the dimension type is the jog type. So jog type is used if suppose I have an arc and the arc is so big that I cannot define its value properly. If I click on the dimension here, so you can see we have the dimension here, but its center is so far away that I cannot show that in the drawing. So to create a new center, to create just an imaginary center that you want to just specify the value from the center of this arc is this one. So to do that, we can use the jog dimension. You can see that in the example here, you can read that jog dimension creates jog radius dimension when the center of the arc or circle is located off the layout. Like we have in this drawing, we have the center of the arc off the layout or off the window. We can just create a new center to just represent the dimension. So go to the jog, select the arc, select the center location. I want to specify the center here. Now you can see it will ask where you want to specify the location, dimension location. So I want my dimension to be here, and it will ask you where you want to specify the location of your jog. This shape is called jog. Where you want to specify, just click on that point. Okay, so actually this is the very much higher value shape. I'm going to create a smaller shape so that our dimension will be visible. So I'm going to create an arc. So you can see we have the arc here. Okay, I want to specify a dimension from jog. So select the jog, select the center from where you want to specify. Now you can see we have the center. Now it is asking where you want to specify your text. I want my text up here, and it will ask where you want your jog. I want my jog right here. So like this way you can create your new center just for defining the value or defining the radius. You can see that if you select, the center will be down here, but to check the radius you can specify the jog from here also. Okay, we have basically two centers now. You can see here, if you go to the jog option, okay, you can read it what it means. Okay, so now right now you can see the red arc. If you see the red arc inside where one is written, the red arc, its center is far away from the layout. It's outside of the layout. We cannot specify the exact center in our sheet. So to just to show the center, we have the center and the value of the radius is from center. We create a dimension called jog. Okay, with the help of jog, we will create a new center point from where we are going to specify the radius. Okay, it's not the exact point. Like you can see, the center of this arc is here. Okay, if I specify the radius of this arc, it will be specified like this, but your center will not be able to show your center at this level. So how can you show that this dimension is from the radius? So to specify that, we use the jog type. We select the arc. Okay, jog can be selected, can be applied on arc or circles only. So select the arc, specify the center location where you want your text, and okay, sorry, select the jog and select the arc. After that, specify where you want to make your center. I want it to make somewhere here. Now you can see your dimension can be created. Now it is asking for the dimension line where you want to create your dimension line or where you want to place your text. And after that, it is asking for the jog location, that is this angular shape. So I want my angular shape right here. Like this way you can create. So this is our dimension text, this is our jog line. So it is right now at an angle of 45 degrees. That can be changed from the dimension style manager also. Okay, is it clear? Basically jog is used to define the center point, a new center point, just to represent the dimension.
सर यहाँ जो जॉग है वो डायरेक्शन बताता है सेंटर की किस डायरेक्शन में ये होगा.
Can you repeat?
ये जो जॉग आपने ड्रॉ किया वो डायरेक्शन बताता है कि किस डायरेक्शन में ये मीन उसका
No.
सेंटर होगा. Means उस
Yes, basically for that. It will specify that our center is in this direction somewhere here, and the dimension is also from the center. This dimension, the radius is also from the center. By default we know that the radius is always defined from the center, but it is used to just represent, okay, for the representation purpose only. Okay, there is no other use, just to represent that there is the center somewhere here will be the center, and the uh, text will be somewhere here, and the dimension is from the center, just to represent the dimension, nothing else. Okay, we normally don't use this type of dimension, but if you want to represent, then you can change, or then you can use this dimension type. Okay, normally we always use the radius type from here, and now you can see that the radius will be specified here. Okay, if you don't want to see this center line, we can just close it out from the dimension style manager. Go to the D, modify, and we can just go to the fit, and there is an option draw dimension line between extension. So we can just uncheck it. Okay, set current, close. Now you can see there will be no center line. Okay, it will just show that this arc has a radius of this one. Okay, it is just for representation, nothing much. Clear? So next is, suppose I want to, okay, so we have this these dimensions specified here. Okay, like that, and I want to specify my this dimension somewhere here. Okay, I can change this dimension to be inside. So now you can see we have some problems here. Okay, we have some values left, radius 1 and radius zero point 0.5, and radius of this object to be 1.2. Okay, and radius of this to be specified like that. And we can just go here and specify this gap also. It should be 1. We can specify this gap also. So if you want to change the location of the dimension, you can just pick the text and you can specify it somewhere here like that. So now you can see we have some zeros here. I don't want to see the zeros. I want to see that value, like we have 4.2, but I don't want to see that 0. So we can suppress them. Suppress means hide them. We can hide them. We can change the types, some values. Yes, you want to ask something? Okay. So to modify these dimensions, we have uh, an option called dimension style manager. We can just simply type D, enter. We have this dimension style manager. We can go to the modify, and we can modify these things manually, or we can just go to the fit and we can change the values from here. Okay, so right now I'm going to show you some other option. Like, we know that the standard is the dimensions line should not cross the geometry line. This is a geometry line. Okay, so the dimension should not cross the geometry line. So how can we create the dimension without crossing the geometry line? So for that, I think you have covered that in the engineering graphics also. We use the break command. We break the dimension line. So to add the break in the dimension line, we can see that the dimension is in annotation. So we can go to the annotation tab, and we have some further more options right here. So in dimension, the first option is here, that is called break. We can add a break in the dimension. So select the break. After that, select the dimension. After that, select the object and press enter. So let me check again. Break. Select the dimension to add break. Select the object to add break. No object selected. Okay, we are facing some problem here. Again, break here. Okay, the object cannot be selected. So break. We are getting some problem in this drawing, so I'm going to use a new drawing. I'm going to create some similar features like a circular dimension and some shape like that. I'm going to specify a dimension somewhere here. Okay. Circle of radius 5. So keep the object in the scale. Circle of radius. Okay, and now click here. Okay. So create a shape, define the dimension like that, like that. Okay, now you can see the object is being crossed like this. So go to the break, select the dimension, select the object. Now you can see the dimension is break. We have some problems with this file, so I'm not going to use this file. Now you can see this file is fine. I can just copy, control C and paste the shape somewhere here. Okay, so you can see we have applied some breaks. So go to the D enter. Okay, go to the modify. Fit I'm going to use 0.5. Okay, set current flow. So we have some dimension changes here. I'm going to apply the dimension again. So D enter. I'm going to set the standard. This one close. I'm going to create the dimension right here. So D enter modify. I'm going to create the size at current flow. So we have the dimensions here. So now I'm going to specify some dimensions like that. Okay. So go to the break, select the dimension, select the object. Okay. Object dimension issue. Okay, enter, go to the modify and go to the lines. So go to the text. We have text height. We have offset dimension line. Weight size is 3.75. I'm not able to select in this drawing. I think we should create a new drawing like this. I have created here. You can see we have got the cap here. By create another frame like that. Create a dimension from here. Going to break that dimension with the help of that object. I'm able to do it here. I'm not able to do it here. The problem. Okay, we are going to apply the break. You can see we have added the break here, but the size is so much away. Okay, the size is so much bigger that we cannot see the change. Okay. Now we can see. Okay, that was the problem. I have set the values higher, so I was not able to see that change. Okay, you can see that we have the change all everywhere. So I'm going to create some dimension again. I'm going to show you again that how we can create some breaks. So here we have some dimensions like that. So we know that the dimension line should not cross the geometry line. So you can just go to the break here and select the dimension. If you want multiple, you can just select the multiple, select the dimension you want to just break. Okay, press enter. Now you can just select the object. So I know this is a continuous object. I can just select this object and you can just remove the dimensions like that. Okay. So there is the break that we have just added. So this way you can just change. After that we have another dimension type. If we create a object like we have created in the first session, an object like that, we have some circles with 20 radius, with 32 radius, with sorry 32 means 16 radius, with 14 radius, and with 12.5. Okay. We have some circles. This circle is at 22. This circle is at 55. This circle is at 111, and this circle is at 155. So we have some objects like that. Now, if we specify the dimension like this one, change the size. So go to the modify, go to the fit. We are going to increase the scale to 10. Okay, set current close. You can see the dimensions now. If you want to increase the dimension more, go to the modifier, go to the values. I'm going to increase them by 30, set current close. Okay, so we got these dimensions. Next, we have first thing is we are going to define the diameter. So, like this way, you can define the diameter like that. Second thing is we have to specify the height like this one from this point to this point. We have to specify all the heights like that. Okay. So how can you do that? How can you specify that dimension? So you can see that our value is going outwards, not staying in the inside like this one, because we have some settings that that is forcing the value to go outside. So what is the value? What is the system that is going to create it like that? So we are going to create after this command. So now we have a option here. There is two types. First is continuous, second is baseline. So first I have created this shape. Now I am going to select the baseline type, and you can see that we have selected the baseline type, but I want the baseline to be this one. So dimension should be defined from the base, from upside to downside, sorry, downside to upside. Now if I go to the baseline type, you can see that base, this line is defined automatically. Just I have to click on the center, on the center here, on the center here, or at the end here. You can see we have some dimensions like that. So how we get these dimensions? We have used the dimension type to be baseline. If we want to create some dimension like from here to here, so we have some other type that is continuous. So the dimension will be from this point to the next point like that. From it will be from the previous point to the next point, and this will be from the base to the end point. So this is the base type, this is the continuous type. So in base type, we can see that we have some symmetrical gaps. So in order to change the gap, if I want to change the gap between these two lines, we have an option here called adjust space. You select the adjust space, select the base dimension, that is this 22, and select the dimension to space. I want to increase the space between these objects. So select the dimension. Okay, we have selected, press enter. Now you have to select the value. I want the gap to be around 15. So press 15 and you can see that all the dimensions are in a gap of 15. You can check the gap from the dimension again, or you can just leave it. Okay, so this is the base type. Simply you have to create a base dimension like this one, and after that you have an option here that is called baseline dimension. So it will automatically catch the base. You just have to select the endpoints of all the dimensions like this one. Okay, press enter. If you want to increase the gap, you have the option here, adjust space. Select the base, select the dimension to space, press enter, go to the value, define the gap between them, and they will be adjusted like that. Okay. So now we can see that we have this zero. Okay. We don't want to see the zero. We only want to see if there is a value like 111.3241 something. Then we want to see it. But if it is zero, we don't want to see it. So go to the D enter, go to the modify, and go directly to the primary unit. And in primary units, we have some option here called zero suppression. So in zero suppression means we are going to hide the zero. So which zeros you want to hide? First is leading. Leading means if you have the value of 0.5, the value will become zero point 0.5, or if you have in trailing, if you have value of 12.5000, the value will be 12.5. So we always select this option for zero suppression and select the trailing option. And in angular mode also first select the precision and select the suppression to trailing. Select OK, select set current, select close. You can see all the zero are removed from here. If you click here and move it, you can see the values are up to 4 digit after the decimal. If you move it to the exact point, the zeros will be removed like that. Okay, that is the zero suppression. Is it clear? So again, we have to just apply the break. You can just select all the objects, press enter, and select the line, and in this way you can create the break here. Here, next option in D enter, we have some multiple options. First is the lines. So in lines, we have two type of lines in the dimension. First is dimension line. So you can see I am changing the color. So red color line is called the dimension line. You can change the property from color, line type, line weight from here. And we have the baseline spacing. So the baseline command I have used here. So base dimension was 0.38 and that was multiplied by the value of fitting, that is 25. So the 0.38 into 25 was the base dimension. So you can hide the dimension of one side, dimension line of one side. You can see this line is hidden, this line is hidden, and you can also hide the second line, or you can hide both the lines like that. Next, we have the extension line. So the yellow color line will be the extension line. You can see these lines are the extension line. Okay. So again, you have the properties of line type of both the line individually. You can select from here for line 1 and line 2, and you can specify the line weight to both the lines, and you can hide them one by one or both by selecting these options. Next, we have is the option that is extend beyond dimension line. So we know that this is the dimension line and currently we are in the extension line. So if you want to increase the size of this extension line from this point, like it is 0.18, I want it to be zero point 0.5. So you can see the gap will be increased from this location, that is beyond dimension line. Okay, and other is offset from origin. This distance is this one. So the offset distance I want to be zero point 0.2. So you can see the change in here. So from this point to this point, what should be the gap? It is called offset from origin. You can specify it from here. And then we have the option that is called fixed length. If you want to create a fixed length of this line, go to the fixed length, specify the length. This is 1 right now. You want to change to zero point 0.5, you can change it. Sometimes the result will not update, sometimes it will update automatically. So basically this is the length of this line. So if you want to change or not, it's on you. Next option is symbol and arrows. So we have some arrows here. If you want to change the arrow to be dot, to be this text, whichever you need, just you can select it from here. Okay, first arrow, second arrow, we have two options. Third is the leader. We are going to cover the leader later. We have the arrow size. If you want to change the size of the arrow, you can change it from here. After that, you can see we have some center mark here. Currently it's on mark. If I select none, nothing will be shown here. If I select the line, lines will be shown here. It should be on mark. The size of the mark should be something from here. You can change it. Next, we have the brake size. You already know we have applied brake many times. You can change the brake size from here. After that, we have the arc length symbol. I have shown you the arc length that was on the front of the text. You can see preceding dimension text is selected here. You can change the setting. Again, I have shown you the jog angle that was on 45. It was defined here. And the jog height factor is 1.5 multiplied by the fitting value or the scale value. Next, we have some text related options again. So the main option is if you want the placement, like we have vertical lines. This one is vertical where you want the text. Right now it's on center. You want above, you want outside. Okay, so you can see this is above and outside. If you want below, it can be below. Okay, so I want them to be centered. Now you can see here, add extension 1, add extension 2, so you can change. So you should set them to the center. If you want to change left to right, the text will be opposite in the direction. Okay, again offset from line. If you want to specify any offset value, you can specify it from here. So the next option is text alignment, how you want to specify. Currently it's on horizontal. Mainly it should be on aligned with the dimension line. So it will always align with the dimension line. Okay, if you want horizontal you can, if you want align you can. Okay, ISO will be like this. There will be the change in ISO. And the landing will be added. So these are basic options you can choose. Now I have shown you, you can see here the text is outside not inside. Why it is so? Because we have applied an fit option that if we don't have enough room between two lines, which should be moved outside. So right now if I select the text is outside. If I select the arrows, even the arrow can be outside like this. We have the arrows outside, text inside. In text we have the text outside, arrows inside. So we should use either text or arrow best fit, whichever you need. Just select that one from here. So we have the draw dimension line. If you want a line here like this one, you can click here. So these are the basic options that we use. In units, we have the zero suppression again. So you should apply it from here. And now you can see there is a measurement scale. Don't use this measurement scale unless you have to specify. Like I have applied, suppose I have this value 20. If I want to convert this value into from, suppose it is in inches, I want to convert it into millimeters. So you have to specify the scale factor for 25.4 here, because 1 inch is equal to 25.4 millimeter. So if I enter this value, everything will be changed. You can see it will convert it from something 20 to 510. So this scale should be in 1 and don't change the scale. So this was it for the basic settings. So I'm not going to save them, just going to cancel out. So if you have any question till now in the text or in the dimension, you can ask the question. You have any question? Okay. So the next option we have is this one, that is called leader. So basically leaders are used to define annotation or a note. So you can just go to the leader. We have the leader option here. Okay, now you have to specify the arrowhead location where you want your arrow and turn off the ortho mode. So the leader will be specified like this. So after specifying this arrow, you have to specify the landing location where you want your text. You have to specify that location. I want my text somewhere here. So now you have to type your text. I want this dimension like bracket, which is 0, comma 210 bracket close, and click outside to complete. So in this way you can create some leaders. Okay, so leaders are basically used to for detailing in the drawing. You want any coordinate to define, you want any specification to define, you can use the leaders from there. Okay, so I think I have a drawing here. Okay, like this one. You can see that there are some options. There is some text written, the outside profile, something, and it is connected with the help of a leader. Okay, so in this way you can use leaders. Select from here, leader. Select the base point from where you want to start or where you want to specify your arrow. Click for the location. Type anything you want. You can change the text type. Basically it is a text editor. Click outside to complete and you have the leader here. Now we have some other option. We want, if you want to attach an arrow with this detail, you can attach from here, add leader. Select the leader and now you can specify another arrow. Suppose I want to specify the arrow here like we have specified in this drawing. We have two arrows here, so you can just specify it from add leader. From here, add leader, select the leader where you want to add, select the object where you want to specify the arrow. Next we have the option to remove. You can just select the leader, select the arrow we want to remove, press enter. Okay, like this one, select this one, select the leader, remove, press enter, and the leader will be removed like that. Okay, next option is alignment of the leaders. If we have multiple leaders, suppose I have some leaders like that. Okay, I want to align all of the leaders in a single line, so I can just use the align type from here. Select the leaders like that, press enter, and select the leader with which you want to align. I want to align with this leader, so it can be horizontal, it can be vertical, whichever you need. I'm going to just create a horizontal. So press OK, and the leader can be aligned like that. In horizontal, if you want in vertical, you can just select the direction to vertical. So these are the basic type of leaders you can use from here. Okay, from the leader command. So the last option is collect. It is not used in this type of leader or not. You will not be able to select from here. For these command, you have to specify some other type of leader. Now, if I show you, there are some leaders with a circular shape. You can see with a circular shape, how can we add that type of leader? To use that type of leader, we have to go to the library. For that, press tool palette, TP shortcut and enter. Now we have some leaders here. You will not be able to see directly, will be prompted somewhere here. You have to go to the leaders right here somewhere. Here is the leader. If you don't find in this list, go to down below, click here, and there is the leader. To select the leader, you will be prompted to the leader tab. So we have some imperial and some metric size. So I'm going to use the metric right now. So first is without any text. So it will be just an arrow without any text like that. Second is the with text. We have used this leader right now. After that we have leader with box with circle. So first define the arrow, define the placement. Now it will ask for a attribute or a tag number. Enter the tag number. Suppose I'm entering 1. That's okay. You can see we have a circular circular shape here with the text 1. We can edit the text. Double click on the text. You can change the text like that. After that we have a leader box type. Specify the box. Enter the value. You can always leave that blank like that. We have hexagon. Okay. We have triangular shape. We have some slots. We have a detail bubble. So it will ask two numbers like that. So to combine the properties of all these leaders into one, we have the option here that is called collect. Select all the leaders, press enter, and now you can see all the leaders will be combined like that. So you can just attach the arrow to anywhere and the leader can be created like that. Is it okay? Any question on leaders on tool palette? Okay. So next thing we have, if you want to change the scale of the leader, change the arrow size, change the text size from here. So we have the option called multi-leader style. So that is shortcut MLS multi-leader style. From here, just go to the modify, and now we can modify everything from here, or we can go to the leader structure and we have the scale right here. We can update the scale. Okay, set current and close. Everything will be updated according to that. So after that, we have the option table command. If you want to insert a table in the drawing, you can create a table from here. First, we have the empty table option. We have the preview here. We have some options how you want to insert. So specify the number of columns, specify the number of rows, specify the width, specify the height. So these are the columns, these are the rows. So column have width, row have height. So all the values can be specified from here. Now you can see the first type is title. So first row will be merged and second has header, so where you have to type your like serial number or any detail heading. After that we have the data rows. So just click OK, specify the location, and it will ask you for the text. If you want to type any text, just type or just click outside. The table will be created like that. If you want to change the size, just go to this arrow and you can manage the size like that. Press escape, you will be outside of the one. So if you just select it like that, you can change the size from here. From here, if you want to change the individual size, like I want the size to be small, you can change it from here also. Okay. If you select it and press or click anywhere on the cell, now you are in the option of like Excel cell style. You can manipulate the cell style. If you select multiple, you can merge them like that, like that, or like that. Okay, we have some merge option. or if you want to insert or delete a row or a column, we have some option from here. If you want to type something, just double click and you can change the scale, the text, everything from here, like that. If you want to insert any property, like you want to apply the color background, so you have the option here. I want a red color, you can do that. If you want to change the case, the size, or anything you can do. So now we know that we have some other option. First is justification. It is now middle center. You want it top left, top center, anywhere you can do that. So it should be middle center. Okay. So next, if you type anything here, you can see this text is very low. If you want to apply these property to this box, you can just go there, select the match cell, select the cell where you want to specify. Okay, select it, match cell, select the source cell, select the destination cell, and you can see that the property of this cell will be applied to this one. Okay, so whatever you need, just type here and you can match. So this should be applied from here only. The alignment should be defined individually, and you can just match the property like that one. Okay, so if you want to delete something, you can delete, or if you want to make it lock, so you have the option here, locking. I want to lock everything, content, format. So if you go here and delete something, you will not be able to delete. You can see there is a lock with the cursor. This content is locked. You can unlock it from here. Okay. So basically, this is the Excel. You can manipulate it with the help of all those commands. So if you want to add a Excel sheet, add an Excel sheet in AutoCAD, you can do that from the table command again. Go to the table. Now there is another option that is called from a data link. So you have to create a link first. So I'm going to create a new link. Name that link something and go to the browse for a file. Select the file from where you want to select. Press OK. Press OK. Press OK. And so if you wait for a few seconds, your sheet will be in here. You can see with the cursor, here is the sheet, just click anywhere and here is your sheet. Right now the background color is white because we have applied in the Excel sheet. So if you want to change the color, just select the whole sheet or select the whole sheet like that, and so select the whole sheet like that and go to the color and go to the none. You can see there is no color right now. So if you want to select, just select again, go to the none, and the color can be removed. So this is the option, this is the way you can change the sheet. You can attach the sheet. If you make any changes on that sheet, like I want to write something here. Okay, if I save this sheet, close that sheet, and if I come back on my drawing, you will notice there is an option data link has changed. If you click on this update tables, so it will be updated in 2 seconds. So now you can see there is the content option. So in this way you can just manipulate the Excel. Any questions till now? Is it clear how to attach? That is block command, that is tool palette TP. You just have to type TP And now we have some leaders here. Go to the leader tab, we have a leader circle. So just click, define the arrow, and now you have to define the value. If you don't define anything, it will be like that. If you want to define anything, it will be like that. Tool palette, go to the leaders and you have the option leader circle. Any other questions? To add an Excel in the sheet, you have to go to the table command. Okay, I have to first delete this Excel. Go to the table command. Now you can see we have an option here from a data link. If you click here, now you can see I have created a link. So this sheet contains a link. If you want to create a new link, just go to here or go to here. Now you can see we have the link here, but if you want to create a new link, go to the OK. Okay, I have typed the same name. Okay, so we have the new link. So you have to browse the file, search for the file, browse that file, press OK. Okay, so now press OK again, and it will take few seconds, and the file will be here. You can see your cursor has the file. Just click anywhere you want to place, and now the file is somewhere here. So you can just drag and select that and remove the color, and you can see that detail here. Okay, just go to the table, go to the data link and select the link or select the launch data link. You can add the file from here. Is it clear? Neil, is it clear? Okay. So next option is the layers. After you have created this, next you can see that everything is in layer here. So what is the effect of the layer? From here you can select the object you don't want to see. Like I want to check which object has so what is the layer of this object? Select the object. You can see the number 102 is the current layer of this object, and if you want to see the layer of this is 103. So if I go here and turn off the 102, you can see the everything, every geometrical line will be turned off right now. Okay, if you don't want to turn that off, if you want to just see these type of layers, we have some option here. We can isolate that layer. So go to the isolate, select the object and press enter. So the current layer of, so the layer of that object will be isolated from the rest of the layers. You can see everything is blocked, not freezed, everything is blocked. So you can just select these things only. Okay, if you apply, if you delete, only the object will be deleted, not these objects. Only the geometrical lines will be deleted. Okay, so layer has many advantages for selection. Basically, it is used for selections. If you want to work with only with the references or only with the dimensions or only with the geometries, you can just go there and turn off everything. Just simply turn only layer on. Okay, like that. So to create a layer, right now you can see by default we have only two layers. To create a layer, we have to go to layer properties. From here, we can see there are some options. We can create a layer from here, or we can just right click or create a layer from here. So new layer. Now it will ask for a name. I want to create a reference. Okay, so I'm selected a reference name. Now I'm going to use some define some property. So first we have some three option on, freeze, lock. So we are not going to use that property right now. We just have to specify I want to differentiate my reference with the color. So I have applied a color from here. I want to differentiate with the line type. So line type of my object should be dashed. Okay, okay. Okay, so this is the reference type. Again, I'm going to create a new. I'm going to specify the name dimension to that layer, and the layer should be of the red color, but the line type I'm going to use is continuous. Okay, in this case, I'm going to use the ISO. In reference case, I have used ISO line type. In dimension case, I have used the continuous. And after that, I'm going to create a new layer that should be geometry. And for that, I'm going to use some different color like that. So these are the options. So now you can see here we have some layers. Suppose we have some drawing here. Now I want all the layers of this one, all the dimension of this line to be added in the dimension layer. So how we can do that? We can just select the dimensions, go to the layers and select the dimension. Now you can see all the dimension is added in the dimension layer. Okay, if you want to add this geometry into the geometrical layer, so select and go to the geometry, click on that, and you can see everything is converted into the geometrical layer. Now you can see we have applied a line type to the geometry, and I want to change. So go to the layer properties, and you can see that in geometry you have applied the SaiCad. I'm going to select the solid line, close. Now you can see we have the solid line here. So to add the reference, suppose I want a line here, and that line I want to create it as a reference or as a center line. So select that line, go to the reference, and you can see that line type is now reference line. So in this way you can apply the layers. If you want to merge to apply the match, if you want to match the property directly, you can have this option here, match property. Select the source. I want this object's property to be matched with these all. So select these all like that, or just click on that. So all the properties can be applied like that. Now what is the advantage? I can just go here and turn off the dimensions. So now we have only reference and the geometry. I'm going to turn off the reference also. So we are left with the geometry only. So I'm going to select all and define them geometrical. So you can see everything is in geometry right now. If I turn it back on, you can see my drawing is in the layers. Okay, so layer will be used to select the object very easily or to clean the drawing, because sometimes you don't want to see the dimension, sometimes you don't want to see the reference. In that case, it will be very helpful. So always create layer, work with the layer. Now if you see I create something, the default layer we have selected is 0, and if we create anything that will be added to that layer. So if you want to work directly in the geometry, you have to select the geometry here, so you can create anything that will be in the directly in the layer. If you want to create a dimension, you can also create a dimension in the geometry, but then you have to again go to like this and assign the layer to the dimension. So before doing that, you can just directly go to the dimension and specify all the dimension in that layer like that. Okay. So this is the option. In this way, you can use the layers, and here is the layer property manager. You can modify anything. If you want to exclude any layer to be added in the final output or to be excluded from the printing, you can just click here. Suppose I don't want to print the references, so I'm going to the reference and click here. You can see that these are excluded from the printing. So if you print, there will be no reference line in that one. So this is the layer command. If you have any question, please ask. No questions? Okay. So next we have a command left over, that is for hatch. So what is hatch? If you want to create a section of an object, you have to specify the sectioning or you have to show the material of the section. So how can you specify the material? Suppose I have a cylindrical shape like this. I want to specify its section from this point like that. So what will be its section? Its section will be like something this type, and now you have to specify here the hatch to show that it has some material. So go to the hatch, it's from H or from here. Now we have some types. First is solid, in that you can just click here and specify a color whichever you need. After that we have some gradients, in that you have to specify two colors and the type will be specified like this. After that we have the patterns, in that you can specify any type whichever you need. You want to show that the material is of steel type, you can just select the steel. If you want to show that it is of stars, you can show that. If you want that material is plastic, go to the plastic. For the mud, for the line, for the wood, we have different type. We also have the type for honeycomb structures, we have type for gravel, we have type for uh, I think it is called, okay, we have the type for brick and for sand, and I think for concrete also. Yeah, we have the type for concrete also. So select any type you need, and after that you see that you cannot see the same shape we have here because we have the scale right now that is higher. So to change the scale, here is the option of the scale, hatch pattern scale. So if you zoom out or decrease the scale, you can see that the object or the hatch will be shown like that. If you want to increase, simply increase the scale like that. Next is, if you want to change the color of the hatch like that, you want the red color or you want any other color, you can change the hatch type. Next, after that, if you want to change the background color, you can see that the background is black now. If you want to add some background colors, you can add them from here. After that, you have the transparency. If you want to fade the hatch, you can fade it from here. If you want to create the hatch at an angle, you can add the angle from here like that. So these are the basic option to create a hatch. If you click here associative, it will be editable. Click OK, and you can see that if you change the size, the hatch will adjust it automatically. Okay, if you don't create the hatch to be associative, close, and if you select the hatch, you can see the hatch will be different and the size will be different. Shape can be changed and height hatch remain at that location. After that, we have some other option. If we create some object like that, the hatch will automatically select the area or the region where you can apply some hatch like that. Okay. So if you want to add hatch here, you can just select the object. If you are unable to select that object or that area, you can just go to the options. There is an option called island detection, and here you can just click on ignore island detection. So hatch will be added inside of this geometry. It will not consider these geometries. If you select the island detection to the outer island only, it can be created like that. You just close, the hatch can be created like that. Is it clear? Hatch option. So now we are going to create a drawing like we have, okay, like this one. So we have a drawing, we have some circles, two circle here to here, distance of 4.62 and the diameter of 0.95 radius and a dia of 1.1. So basically create two circles. I'm going to create them. Two circles. One has a radius of zero point 0.9. So go to the top, to zoom in, and the other circle we have a radius of diameter of 1.0, like that. I'm going to close down everything else. So So now we have two circles here, 1.1 dia and 0.94 radius. Now we need to copy them. We need to copy them at a distance of 4.62, like that. And after that we have a circle here that is of radius. Big one is of 2.31 and the smaller one is dia 1.54. And the distance from this point to this point is 4.95 minus 2.64. So that will be 3 and 31, and that is 2.31. So go to the circle, select the tracking command, go to the center, so it will be 2.31 here, and go to the above side 2.31 here. Now the radius is 2.31. Okay, and the other circle has a diameter of 1.54, and we have some lines that are tangent like this. So we'll create them later. First we have to create two circle that is at 2.64 above. So circle TK 2.64 upside, and outside we have 3.41. So that will be 1.567, 1.75. Create a circle of radius. We have diameter of 1.21 and a dia of 0.55. So you can just mirror them like that or copy them. And now we have two arcs. One is of radius 2.64 and both the arcs are tangent. So create a circle that is PTR. Select these two, create your cursor downside and go to the radius 2.64, like that. Create a circle PTR like this one, and the radius is 2.75, like that. So trim out from here only, and after that you can just select them and delete, like that. Now we have some lines from this point. Okay, we have some error here. So what is the error? First I'm going to check the dimension. So the dimension from this point to this point is 3.1. Okay, it was 3.41. TR double enter. So this object should be at 3.41. So to create that without removing the, okay, I don't want to remove the relation, so I'm going to stretch S center. I'm going to select the object like that and going to stretch it up to point 2. B enter, modify. I need to apply the fit to be 5. Okay, set 7. Okay, so you can see that the relation remains, but I have not selected this one, so the relation was deleted. So to check the gap between, you can see that this is 3.4. Okay, I need to extend one more. So scale or stretch, sorry, I need to stretch it's like this one, point one more, so it is 3.4, and re-enter, modify, and the units. Okay, so to create these, you can just use a center line that should be like this one, and the gap is 2.64 and 3.41. 2.64 and 3.41, that will be okay. So I'm going to create a 3.14 length, no problem. So after that I can just move it like that, and after that I can just move the circles to the location like that. So if you check the dimension, it will be the exact dimension between 2.3.41. Okay, if I use a line, that will be look, it will be the exact point like that. After that, I can just convert it into the reference. Okay, the reference scale is very low, or I can just delete the lines. I need the dimension should be scale should be 8.5. Okay, it's set current close, or should be 8. Okay, so now we have to specify the arcs. So circle, 10 radius, specify the radius like 2.75. Go to the 1010, specify from here, and it should be 2.64. 2.64 like that. Trim. TR double enter. Okay, for trim like this one. And after that, you can just select them and delete them because we have to trim them multiple times. So we can just select and trim them like that. So this is the drawing we need. Now we can see we have a fillet of 0.66 and a radius of 1.38. So create a radius of 1.38, again tangent 1.38 radius, that is not possible. So we can just go and create a circle of 2 point also. You can just select the 2 points because we don't know the exact radius because it is the gap of 1.41. Okay, 1.38 is not possible with this value, so we have to create that like that. So fillet, that is 0.66. So fillet radius 0.66. So select the circle like that, like this. Okay, we are double enter. You can just trim them. I just don't need this one, and I don't need this one. So select and delete. Now you can see this is the shape required. Okay, I have closed the file accidentally. So we have the drawing here. Okay. So this is the shape we require. Now we have to apply some hatch here. Go to the hatch, select the area you want to create the hatch. I don't want any background color. Okay, so hatch should be of this line type. So I think it's steel type can be applied here like that, and click OK. The hatch will be applied like that. Now all the geometry should be in the geometry, and this dimension should be in the dimension. So hatch should have a different color, so we can just go to the hatch and define by layer like that, or we can just specify any other color you want. Want a white color, we can specify the white color. After that, you can just select the dimension and create the dimension. Like I want a radius here, radius here. I want the gap from here to here. I need a radius of this one. this one, this one, this one. I can specify the radius right here like this. Okay, everything can be defined like that. For the distances, the gaps you can just do there, and you can just like that. So this is the drawing. You can dictate it like this. You can specify the. You have to specify the layers. You have to specify the hatch. You have to specify the dimension and so on. So any question related to today's session? How we can attach Excel? How we can assign the dimension for text or anything? If you have any question, please ask, because our session is complete now. So I will show you the assignment. Continuous dimension. Which one? This one. Use simply the dimension type. You can use the continuous type also. First, you have to specify the distance from here to here, like this, and go to the annotate and use the continuous from here. You can see, we select the other point like that, the continuous dimension will be added. Okay, if you want to add the baseline, you can just do that also like that. Okay, anything else? Okay, so now we have assignment. So, assignment. Okay, this was the second, third assignment. Okay, so you have to create this drawing and type in the text here. So the text command will work. I've shown you how to use the this degree. You can use the symbol from the text. In this, you have to apply some dimension types, like you have the baseline here or the continuous line here. In this, you have to apply the hatch, and here you have to create a table. Okay, and here you have to create this drawing with the help of applying some leaders, and you have to draw these two views. Okay, create this upper line and lower line as a straight line. Don't create a circular angular line or circular line. Create a straight line. You have to create both the views. If you face any problem, you can ask me about it. Okay, you have to specify these animations also. Is it clear? Any question? Okay, so this was it for the day. Thank you.